Well, I think it's about time to replace this light kit because the other old one doesn't work and I don't like having zip ties for my temporary. So, hey there folks, it's Jeff again. It's my only day off. It's 84 degrees, about 29, or actually 80 degrees, about 29 degrees Celsius here in North Texas. Sorry about the little trailer light fix joke thing I did there, but I thought it was kind of neat. Today's project is going to go ahead and fix part of the bilge access and part of the only major damage, minor damage to be honest, that I found on this boat. I'm going to show you here real quick. What's happened here is that looks like there's some bilge access that was broken into, or the previous owner had stepped into the wrong place and made a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to put this piece of plexiglass in the area so that it will hold that, and the fiberglass around it isn't going to be quite as soft, and it's going to be able to hold somebody's weight if somebody steps on there. In addition, since that was probably bilge access as well, I'm going to go ahead and put a 3-inch shower drain in there that I can actually remove and stick down a manual bilge pump that's about 2 inches wide to be able to clean out that bilge whenever it's necessary. I'm not too sure if I'm going to stick with a non-sealed bilge cover and just use a drain or not. I don't know, but either way, I think it's going to work. I plan on go ahead and beveling the sides of this clear plexiglass. I went ahead with clear plexiglass so I can actually see how much water there actually is in the drain pretty easily without having to pull off the cap. So if I know when to actually go ahead and start pumping or not. I don't think there's any major leaks. Most of the water in there is from rain and whatnot. Sorry about that. That's I got a little distracted. And hopefully we'll just I'll let you see me do some cutting on this thing, and we're gonna go ahead and get a gluer in place. I'm gonna be using JB Weld plastic bond to actually get it bonded to the fiberglass. I'll sand it down and clean it before I actually do JB Weld it, and I'll go ahead and cut the 3-inch hole in there, as well as I'm going to go ahead and square off some of the cutting of the fiberglass there with the jigsaw. I'm only going to straighten it out so it's more of a square instead of that nasty little crackly looking thing, so it looks a little more like something that was meant to be done. But this is the best I can do with my knowledge, so hopefully this is going to be good for us all. Here we go. Not looking to make it perfect, just make it look a little better. This is a dry erase or a wet erase marker, so it shouldn't be too terribly bad. It looks like he'd attempted to cut to it beforehand. A little bit of a cut right here from a previous engagement. Alright, let's start here. I'm gonna put a plate down as well. That should be fine. right, at this point, I'm gonna bevel here, here, and here. This is gonna be going up against the bow end of the boat, up against the cabin entrance. I'm going to attempt to bevel this at a 45-degree or so angle. This is plexiglass, so hopefully I'm not going to screw this completely up. It's relatively cheap from Amazon. Let's see what we got here. That's good. I'm definitely going to need some tie downs though, to make this thing more stable than I can do. So I'll be right back. Try to make enough room. I know that the saw will hold by. Yeah, that's going to be difficult. Hate to put it so far back, but otherwise I'm not going to have a clean cut. Should work though. Got a pretty sharp blade on her. Come on, there we go. Make sure you're still in frame. I think you are. Oh, not as much as I thought you would. There we go. Alright, I'll do a dry run real quick. Just to make sure that I'm not going to be hitting the handles. What I like to do as well probably put a guide bar here too. Let's take care of that. My hands shake way too much for me to do this on my own. About 2 1/4. Now I'm using painter's tape here. That's all I had handy for the moment. It'll do well enough just to hold her where it needs to go. That's all right. Although this is covered with a protection, I know that it's always good to have a layer of this to keep it from chipping, at least with other materials. So I've never cut plexiglass, so we're going to attempt it that way. Alrighty. Let's screw $20 of stuff up. That looks pretty good. Here we go. Being a little contrary, sticking to this little piece of tape here. Why it's getting a hold of that, because it was flat. But stuff happens. It's all right. Looks like it's cutting pretty good, at least. Relatively painless, messy, but painless. That's a good cut. And it's a little bit more trim on that side. I must have mismeasured. That got it. I'm not looking for perfect. I just don't want to sit there and have it be super sharp whenever somebody's walking over it. Now for the two edges here. This is a much shorter cut. I'm still not going to eyeball it. Not with my shaky hands. That's nearly enough. Well, my damned iPhone decided to only record 15 minutes and shut itself off without warning me. That's awfully nice of it. But yes, I got it cut. I got bevels done here, bevels done here. I sanded on the edges here. I did cut this with my 3-inch drill. However, it's only just a little bit, still a little bit too small for my little drain plug that I bought. So I'm going to attempt to cut it like with this, or just sand it down so it has a little more room to go down. I don't really like the idea of using that. I'd rather you just find a 3¼ inch drill bit, but I just don't have that at this point. So let's go ahead and take care of that. It's going to be hidden by this lip anyway, so I think it's going to be okay. And even if I do go ahead and put a permanent drain plug there, it'll still be hiding any messy, gross work that's going to be there. So let's get you set. This is my GoPro. So it shouldn't be screwing up like the damned iPhone did. There's got to be a setting in there or something I need to make that more clear. Here we go. Singing in the kitchen, as my dad says. That does seem to be working. I'm working on it though. Definitely seen material come out. And it's sanding it nicely too. Let's see here. Yes, no, maybe. Ooh, not closer. I want that to be relatively loose though, so I can be pulled up pretty easily, so I can get to the bilge. Ugly as sin, but that's good. I can pull that up with pliers if I have to, but it's still a little tight. Right there. Still can't quite pull it. Well, that's not bad. Give it a little more tolerance. Comes out pretty good. And that's it. Let's go ahead and clean all this mess up with my shop vac, and we'll pull this off and glue her in. The glue that I'm using, as I mentioned earlier, is JB Weld plastic bonder. It's for body panel adhesive and gap filler, and it's probably not good for underwater use, but since this is the cabin, it shouldn't be completely submerged. It should work pretty good. Let's clean all this plastic up. at this plexiglass. And here's the top part, which I was semi-worried about. This is ugly, but as I said, this is going to be covered by lip 9% of the time anyway, so oh well. Should have got a 3 1/4 instead of just a 3. But at the time, I wasn't too sure. I didn't have a good plan of attack to what I was going to do there. Originally, I was thinking about putting the permanent drain on it. Yeah, it's pretty scuffed up there, but only got a little bit of scuff here that's showing, but that's gonna be real nice. Let's go take a look and see what it looks like before I glue it in. While cleaning out the side, I did find what the original part of that was, which is looks like the original bilge excess. It may have broken out and just had been there, so it may have been stepped on and from rotten wood. So either way, what I did, I think is going to be a good replacement, and it'll make that place a lot more stable as it was before. Okay, well, the last video that I had before I cleaned this, showing you how this is going to work, was recorded as a photo, not a video. So this is how it's going to work. It's going to be glued all along the edges here. It's got a bevel here, so it's not going to be super sharp if somebody walks over it with bare feet, which hopefully won't have too many people with bare feet on this. And it's going to be JB welded all the way across here. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's clean enough to do that. 1-to-1 mix. You put it onto a disposable surface. Mix it up. Because this is an epoxy, make sure it's good and mixed. This is supposed to be a gray or a tin when it sets. Should have got a bigger popsicle stick. This is the one that came with the JB weld. Let's drive me crazy. Let's put that so. Well, got all over my leg. That was smart. That could have been worse. That's all right. I will definitely need more. Let's do that then. It's a lot of area to cover. Looks like we might have a little bit more rain coming. Maybe a couple showers. We've had a good rainy season this summer. Normally we run dry up here. And any rain's a blessing for me, but some people will complain about anything. Alright, let's take her back. Put you in here. Alright. Oh, I'm definitely going to eat a lot more. I gotta hurry. rifle. That should work. I hope. Wipe off my fingers. And be very careful about placing this. Mostly perfect the first time. Now just holding it here for a little while. Should be good. I really didn't need clear plexiglass here because it should be pretty easy to pop the cap off and see how deep it is in there, but this way I don't even have to look at it or pop it off. I can just look at it through the clear plastic. Sure, you get an ugly look at the bilge, but as I said, I'm going to be probably covering all this up with a flooring, a permeable rubberized flooring, just for posterity's sake. It looks like I got plenty of room in the corners here for batteries and all that. I'm really curious to see what's going to take to get wiring from the equivalent to the starboard side, or actually not the starboard side, the port side, because I'm facing forward, wiring all the way back so I could put the battery the opposite side of this side there, and keep it out of the way while on rod. I don't have anything heavy to put down on this, just to keep it held. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to stay. That's definitely going to be good enough to step on safely. So I was nervous about all this rotten wood under here. But this is under two beams, one being here and one being there and one being there. So it should be stable enough and safe enough to put a little bit of weight on it. I wouldn't put a 300-pound guy in there or a 300-pound step in there, but it should be just fine, especially for what was beforehand. So now I can go in here and clean it up a little better than it was. It's taken a while. It says it takes about 15 minutes. But with this bevel, that's going to keep somebody from hurting themselves. With sanding, even more so. It'll work. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and shut her off because you're going to be bored with the rest of this.